Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, you should hear me now. The OBS wasn't detecting my microphone for some reason. Okay, let's start out from the top. All right, I wanted to talk about how much money Eric makes a month. Last week I was talking about is there was a video he came out with about 2.5 years ago, and Blind Views, he uses it a lot. In that video, Eric he stated that he wasn't on Facebook, and that's quite obviously not true because he's on Facebook Marketplace, and he actually has a profile there. But in that video, he revealed something that he probably didn't expect, a lot of people to see, is that how much he makes a month. And let me pull this up here. Okay, right here, below is a channel analytics, 333,000 subs. That's how much he had back then. And then if you look down, that last spot there says your estimated revenue, $8,000, $8,094.68. So that's how much he makes per month. And that was then. He has 241,000 subs now. So I can only assume that he makes a little bit more. I know some of those subs aren't real. I know he's buying subs. He loses subs every time he does something especially crappy to his audience. He will lose 1,000, and then over a span of maybe a month or two, he gets them back. He buys them, or I don't know how well he's doing, what he's doing. But yeah, that's how much he makes. And the let's see, this was the thumbnail of the video that had that in there, and I think he deleted it or he hid it. He didn't make it public anymore. It's not in the metadata. You can look up the title of the video. It no longer shows up. I'm not 100% sure if he's got it, as for members only, or it's a private video or what. But for whatever reason, it's not there. You won't find it. The only people that have it is me, Blind Views, probably Squirrel Bait Parodies. That's it. Let's see here. Yep. So all this drama about his bus troubles and his RV troubles, whatever, he can easily afford to fix them. It's not an issue. A bank is a bank. He can't use his bank or whatever. I'm pretty sure he has other banks that he's got money in. So none of that drama is real. It's all fictitious. It's all for YouTube. Anytime he complains about the rain, he loses people. Yeah. And he's given me quite a lot of content to work with. Well, I just made this stupid little thing on Viggle. It's blocks getting started by being started like a motorcycle. And Eric getting started like a motorcycle. So there's that. I know. Yeah, imagine that $8,000 plus $1,000 minimum from Patreon. Patreon gets their cut, but I'm gonna still say an even thousand from them. And then you also got sponsors who probably. Uh, I'm not exactly sure how much Connecting pays him a month, but I'm going to say because he's Eric, and you can't lowball the sponsors. They're probably paying him between $500 and $1,000 a month to show for them. So he's already made the 90K that he says he makes a year. Where is that? Where is that thing? Do I still have that on here? Yeah, right there. I'm unemployed. I make 90K a year. All that money, and he won't hire a pro to sort out the bus engines. Yeah, it's not really about the bus. It's just to make content. He's running out of ideas. Somehow, being a nomad traveling across America would seem like he would have all the content in the world to make for YouTube, but he's got to resort to this crap, making half-ass and making a bus that he's not going to even keep. He's going to complain about it till he gets rid of it. So then he's wasted most of this year and a couple of months of last year just for that crap. I was surprised he admitted that he only sold 2 beard oils. Does he really want anything that's made by Blossom? She sells her socks, right? She's probably using her foot oil to make that beard oil. That voicemail clip of Eric leaving a message saying, "Hey baby, hey baby, what you doing?" Let's see, I got it here. Let me see. That's not it.
He has the greatest blue eyes with a beard, also salt and pepper. He had tattoos. He was just gorgeous. He was gorgeous. He had the voice that can make you melt.
Hey baby, I was trying to call you to hear your voice and kiss you goodnight. I guess you were fast asleep. I hope you get this message in the morning. Sleep well, baby. I love you. Mwah. Good night.
Are you married? Do you have a partner? He's like, no, not at all. I go, not to sound mean or, biased or anything. I go, are you gay? He's like, no. He goes, why do people keep asking me that? He goes, I know I'm a good looking guy. Guys ask me out all the time. How are you getting here? He's like, oh, Swiss Air. So he kept begging and begging and begging. So I came up with a little bit more.
Diane pulled some strings and came up with the additional funds. She thought to herself that this would be the last fee she would have to pay for. Diane would log into this website, but every time she logged in to move the money, it seemed there was always some fee or problem that the site needed them to resolve.
After I did all those deposits, then they wanted $75,000. I'm like, you know what? That ain't happening. And it came from me. I told him, you really need to get with your people that owe you money, that you say owe you money. And because you know what? I don't have it. You're not going to get it. And that's it.
Yeah, so like you seen in that video, and I used those pictures he shows. He always having tire problems. He's always having to replace his tires. So he's always saying that he needs help to get some more tires. And this dude can buy 4 sets of tires every damn month if he wanted to. The Tater puppet is great, especially when the puppet writes it in his diary. I wanted to make it a little bit more, expand on that, where Camper Van Kevin actually receives the letter, and he's, like, oh, my little boy, he's growing up so fast. You think Tater took a loan to buy the bus? I think, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think the bus cost 17 grand. I think he used his own money to pay for the bus. So I don't think he needed a loan to get it. I wonder what Blossom makes off OnlyFans. I can't believe anyone would pay for that. There's some pretty sick people out there. But, she's got lots and lots of competition that are way better looking than she is. So I'm not, it amazes me that, but she tries. I wonder if he gets a cut from Blossom's OnlyFans. Yeah, he might, be Eric, being him, he may say,
I'm not gonna do any more work unless you pay me. I mean, God, this is the most work I've done in years. You can't make somebody do that. Not right on the spot.
hello, Tater fans. Well, hello there, Steve Seattle. Hello. I'm going to play the eHarmony video.
I want love on my own terms. Sometimes love is different. I want a hole to fit my donut. Someone to play balls with.
eHarmony gets to know you better to match you better. No wonder every 14 minutes someone finds real love on eHarmony. eHarmony, here for real love.
Because I don't really think that they're a couple. I don't think they're a real couple. That's why they travel in separate RVs. She's probably using the cat, her cat, as an excuse not to be with him, and he's perfectly fine with it. It's double the gas and expenses, and hers with no AC. Now that's just more proof that they really don't like being together. It's just not a real relationship. And Blossom eats like she's going to bloom out of control. What did I just get myself into? Let's see. That is hands. Have you ever really thought about where a good place is for Eric to live where he won't complain? The deserts are too hot. South and east is too rainy. The green high desert, like Flagstaff, maybe? Now, to be realistic, there is no place that's has perfect weather all the time. But if it's a supernatural power of his, maybe he should go to one of the places that's got, they're having droughts right now. So you probably get this a lot, but are you actually an old woman or a troll who role plays one? What do you think? He hasn't gotten a DUI yet. Yeah, it is weird. He's got some mad ass luck. He's luckier than his siblings. Like the one guy that had like 2 arteries severed and had broken ribs, and then his grandpa and now his stepmom. The dude wades around in muddy ass water. He kayaks in a nasty ass swamp. Nothing ever happens to him. Never gets caught. This dude drinks I don't know how many packs of beer. Never gets caught by the police. So maybe he can't afford to pay Blossom's monthly payments anymore. You spend 9 months trying to get out of the rest of your life, trying to get back in. I'm sure he pays for it. There is no place in the USA for Tater. The good places are too expensive. Or are the states he particularly hates? Yeah, Florida would be a good place, close to Disney World. That's his favorite place to live, or maybe California. But like you said, it is pretty expensive. But then again, like I said, the guy makes $8,000 a month. Doesn't seem very, like if I made $8,000 a month, you could live anywhere. Tater can't afford the right wing part of Diego. You think I know Sam the cooking guy, he lives in San Diego. I wonder if he's right wing. You mean his fake brother that was supposedly dying? And it's possible, I didn't do all the research to see, how many siblings he's got, but every year or so, it's always something terrible happens to him. And we never know anything about his family. He doesn't. By the inside of his RV, he has no pictures of relatives or anything except his cats. If you sever even one artery, you bleed out in a couple of minutes. So yeah, you're probably right. You probably just made the crap up. Why do that though? I guess maybe he wasn't getting enough sympathy. He needed to drum up a little bit of drama. I will give Tater one compliment. Although he's still very annoying, he's been far less annoying over the last year. If you say so. And this last few videos of him complaining about the rain, he doesn't usually do it, but I know Tater would probably blow a 09 my breathalyzer, and the Blossom just likes to tater. Well, you got to get stopped first. I guess it's just a matter of time. You see those daiquiris? She was buying daiquiris left and right. No, I don't really see anything wrong with living in Washington State. He likes the parks and stuff. Why couldn't he, buy a place over, that's away from the city? And that's what I'd do. Eric earns so much free money, but he just wasted it all away on BS. But I don't think that he can. I don't think that you can spend that much money unless he's, gambles it or something. He's not driving Ferraris or anything. He's just and he can eat out every day, and I'm pretty sure he does. but I don't think you can eat out $8,000 worth. Not in a month. Are these all full sibling or half? He doesn't seem particularly close to any family member. Nah, he's not close at all. He will not drunk. He will not, hop on an airplane to go see anyone. The one time he was talking to a chick, I guess it was a chick, and he flew from Illinois to Disney World, and I know it fell through before he even got there, I think, and so he still enjoyed Disney World. But if it's a dying family member or someone that died, he's not gonna go fly up to Washington or going to drive up there. When his grandpa died, he was in California. You could it's a straight shot up north to Washington, and he is a nomad. He definitely had the ability to get up there. That around that time, he got into the fender bender with that Mustang, and so he drove. I think probably further back to Illinois to his then base camp to drop that off and complaining about it and all that kind of stuff. Then he while he was in Illinois with the messed up RV, he drove all the way to Colorado to pick up the other Tioga, and then drove that back to Illinois. But his grandpa died. His family was probably grieving. That's all he was worried about was getting a new RV, and trying to get rid of that Miranda Class A. What inspired Agnes and the set? You clearly have a talent. It's a brilliant setup. Oh, thank you. Well, Agnes is like I always thought. Well, if I want to make fun of him, I want to make fun of him, because of the older cat ladies and the widowers. They give him money, so it would make sense that his number one fan would be an old lady. And Agnes is based off my mom. Tater Spud does make a lot of money on YouTube. We got to give him that. Yeah, he came up with that idea. One of the first people to do that, and that's the only reason why he's successful, if you can call it that. I mean, he does make that $8,000 a month. What state you live in? Oh, Texas. I don't understand why he gave up on Taterland. Yeah, that was I could tell. A lot of people could tell that was just a dumb mistake. That whole setup was dumb. He bought that land, and it was in a very inhospitable area. And some people can live there, and if he's going to complain about the weather being too hot, he's not one of them. But like I said, and before, if I had that land, I would have gotten a mobile home or one of those a nice, expensive, one of those what do you call it? It's like a box car, a container. Got maybe 3 of them. And I would have had some people level that land and install the septic tank, and I would pay to have electricity ran up to it, and or build a big metal building, one of the big ones. It's big enough that you can drive an RV into it. And big enough that you can also build sections of it so that you can live there. He didn't do any of that shit. Oh, thank you. I don't. You honestly seem like a a few streamers on here who actually acts like they have a brain. No, no, no. I would say I have an average IQ. I wish I was as smart as some of the streamers. You know, to actually do debates. Well, I'm not. I'm surprised he hasn't been pinched by the IRS yet. There's no way he's paying his property taxes. As I told Squirrel Baits, I just invested $750 to copyright Nomadic Fanatic. He let it lapse. That's pretty funny. I remember you saying that last week. Man, it's probably true. You know, he may not have paid his taxes, but yeah, you never can tell. I thought he didn't want to put a mobile home or any real permanent building so he wouldn't have to get permits, inspections, and have the property tax go up. Well, you know, I mean, you gotta spend money in order to have anything. That was more of a headache to have two storage buildings and that stupid solar array that would not last very long in that heat. And then when it gets cold, it makes the plastic in the solar panels or it makes it brittle, and then the next year it gets really hot. It's a murder on solar panels. Well, hello, Squirrel Bait Parodies. Yeah, barn dominium. See, that would have worked. Tater buys and does things when he's drunk, which is every day, that he complains about later when he doesn't. But that makes great content. Because sometimes he uploads those rage videos or those comments. Tater said in the last video, we are not going back to the South, that is. Because I don't know there's really anything wrong with the South. You know, I was born and raised in the South. You know, you gotta be used to that. Which is dumb because he was raised in Washington and you think he'd be used to the rain. I just got a Blind Views live. He was doing a live today. I didn't know he did lives on Tuesdays. I thought he only did them on Thursdays. Plus, only a truly intelligent person can recognize that there's a lot in the world that they don't know. Yep, I don't know everything. I like to think I know a little bit, you know. The solar panels were used to begin with, I heard, so they definitely weren't going to last long there. They were probably just another stupid scheme to get views. It was a homestead. Was it really a homestead? You would think that, you know, an actual home base would be functional. The closest he really had to a home base was that old shop that Modified Autos had. You could actually park an RV into it, and you could probably live in there, you know. And he didn't want to pay the rent, I guess. It was pretty dumb. He should have kept it. You're taking a vacation from making videos? Too stressing? Well, you know, you got to do you. I know that you're making videos on Tim. I'm not gonna make any videos on him because I don't really care about that guy. He's not really that important to me. It's a strange weather year everywhere. To judge on just 1 year is stupid, but that's Tater. Yeah, I mean, like sometimes, in Texas we'll have like the 100 days of 100 degrees. Like a couple years ago, I looked in my backyard and the grass was yellow. I mean, like white yellow. It was a lot of match up there. It would make a fire. It's this year not so much. It's rained almost every other day. I miss Camo Dave. I wanted to adopt his style so badly. Yeah, yeah, I miss him too. It's too bad that he didn't wasn't around when I first started. What's the photo of Tater behind Agnes? Was that one of his intimidation photos? No, I think he just sometimes he takes stupid pictures of himself to be funny. But I found it and I'm using it. Tater can always be a meteorologist if the nomad thing doesn't work out. Like cities could pay him to visit so that they could get some rain.
You know where I'm going? Yeah, I'm going to the park. Yeah, now baby, you go. I just said there. And she said, here I am. Let's go. Let's know. And she said, I'm just driving this. Or, no, I'm not. Because all of that was Daddy.
Does anyone think that Tater has another account and is watching here? And Blind Views? Yeah, it's possible. But whoever's on here doesn't really cause much trouble. There's one guy, he said something, to effect like, don't you have time to do anything else, That's about it. I don't think anyone tries to cause trouble in these streams. When did you start watching Tater? I was one of the earliest subscribers and still remember the now deleted videos when he was completely out of control in Tilly the Tioga. I think I started watching around 2015. 2015, 2016, somewhere around that time frame. Back then, though, he was actually making, some traveling videos. So I didn't really know how much of a complainer it was. It was only till like maybe a year that I started noticing, that there was something wrong with him. And I think really started, wanting to make videos when he started. When he got that cat in Washington, he said that he found it at a park that was by a winery, and he let the cat go when he probably should have looked around and seen who owned it first, but he didn't really think like that. Then one person they said, and they allegedly said that he had taken the cat and it was traveling with it and then let it out. But that I don't know if that's true or not. That person, that they're whatever they said about it, they're gone. And but most likely what it was that it was the winery's cat. But it doesn't look good to just take a cat in and then the cat might need to it's fending for itself in a public park and just let it go. But that wasn't, I guess then, like about a year or so later, then he got that Domino's driver fired, and that was it. I was all in. But I know for one thing he never mentions this channel. He's not gonna dignify it with a response. That's perfectly fine. But I know he knows I exist. The turning point for me on Eric was when he lied, saying he was staying at the Disney Fort Wilderness campgrounds, but he was clearly staying at a Thousand Oaks campground. Yeah, he lies to his audience. He thinks, I guess he kind of gets off on it. Another one was the guy in Washington getting, that he had an altercation with, but we never see the footage of him arguing with the guy. But as you can see, that was a big campground that was plenty of camping spots for everyone. And I think that the reason why the guy was being an ass was because Eric was being an ass. He probably was driving the ATV around, doing donuts in it just to screw with Eric because Eric was being, a little bitch. And then Eric tries to get them, kicked out of the park. And then when the guy, when he died, he was like, "Oh well, all they care about is the guy that died. They don't care about poor little me." He never mentioned Camo Dave after his passing, which I thought he could have at least gave some type of condolences. No, he's real petty like that. I mean, he is not like everyone else. He doesn't think that way. It's weird to be an expert on Eric, but I've noticed that he doesn't think like everyone else. He doesn't have the same feelings like we all do. Yeah, the snide remark part is more like Eric than offering condolences. He's never going to take the high road with him. Now, right now I'm making the video. I was going to make the one where they were eating KFC at the beach, but seriously, that was like 8-9 days ago. I need to move on. I need to go on ahead, and the last one he made was actually funnier. I can work with it, with the slide and a grown ass man climbing a slide meant for kids. Even though I did my research on it, and they said that anyone can get on it, but this guy, I don't know if he has health insurance, but I wouldn't be climbing those stupid scaffolding or whatever to get up to get on the damn slide for content. The kids are like, "What are you doing up here?" He had no empathy. Even the guy riding the quad who got killed, Tater said he deserves hell or something like that. Yeah, those things are pretty much what sealed it for me. the man in Washington that died on the quad, and he's like, his family should learn a lesson from that. What kind of person says that? Like they lost a family member, and you're saying that because they got into an argument over something stupid like a campground, that's worth someone dying over. But like I said, that's it. Not, normal people don't think like that. They're not petty like that. And then he's got like hundreds of supporters that agree with him. Now I don't know what that's about. Like some of them, like half of his supporters have that type of mentality where my little Eric, was he was slighted a little bit, and therefore the person deserves to die. That makes no sense. You got to remember, Tater weighs about the same as a fat 10-year-old.
Look at me, Diana, look at me. She's like, you can do it, Eric, you can do it. I'm a big boy. I made it up here.
And his stupid sew-on patches on his vest. That's another weird thing he does. Is like he embraces being a non-threatening person. His biker patches are non-threatening. He drives the smallest car he can buy. What else he does? He got these stupid cartoon characters on his. No, they don't look threatening at all. That the worst one is that Mickey Mouse one he got like last week. I don't know what that is about. You can see them walking naked in the woods. You need eye bleach for that. I wonder if we could find the incarceration records for Washington State and see if any of his fellow inmates got any funny stories on him. I know a long time ago they were trying to find the Domino's delivery driver who he fired, but they wouldn't come. No one came forth. Just really sad. That's just another part of Eric's luck, I guess. That nobody comes out, and says anything bad about him. At one time, I actually was able to contact Allison, the chick that was there when he fell and broke his ribs. Wouldn't say anything about him. Nope. Did anyone notice that Diana's dressed more conservative now? Did Tater make her do that? Probably.
You listen here. You're not gonna get my channel tanked.
Not sure if this has been mentioned, but in Diana's last video, she said she is going to try and get him to move headquarters to California, probably to be around her family. That makes sense. And he can easily afford it. I mean, they can afford it, so I'm pretty sure he can too. I don't know how to pronounce that either. I live in South, actually, though I barely have an accent. 4 bottles of mascara each morning caked around her eyes. Ugh. Mississippi has tater gators. I've been living in the South since 2007 and still no accent. Not much of one. And they can't say beignet right either. Did I even say that right? A lot of people they use that as some kind of a threat, to unsub. But it's really, if when you've got like thousands like he does, it's not, it's just a drop in the bucket. It doesn't really affect him. His core audience is I would say half of his subscribers are his core audience, and they're not going away unless they die off of old age or something. So like you got some people, that they finally screwed them over, and they're like, well, I'm gonna unsub. Well, that really doesn't affect him. He doesn't really care, and he never really cared in the first place. Budan with the soft final N sound. Buddha. I've always had people ask me where I'm from. I tell them I'm your worst nightmare. I'm a damn Yankee laughing out loud. That yes, you said it right. Okay, thank you. Those two would be pretty close to me. I have a good idea where she is from and where her family might be. Oh, you live in California? Let's see if I have anything else. Much more lively than usual tonight. Well, I've decided, that we're still going to do member only live streams, but maybe, maybe once or twice a month. And if the public live streams are successful, then I want to continue to do them. Well, I feel for you, crying 96 tears. The there's something going on with California. It's always been a problem. I guess I'm preaching to the choir. Thank you for all your videos. It brightens our day. I really loved your Diana video. Hola, chicharrones. Well, thank you. And, you know, you don't know, you know, like maybe you guys got ideas for videos, you know, I'll take them into consideration. So far, the new video I'm making, it's in. I'm writing a script for it, and I'll probably do the puppetry on Thursday, and might have it out by Friday morning. Dear San Andreas Fault, do your thing. Did you notice Eric's shorts when he was climbing the slide on today's video? That was weird looking. Yeah, I don't think he watches them. Hey, number one fan. Hey, number one, just got here. That's DCR Boger has joined us. Oh no, I don't make puppets. These are it's called Silly Puppet. You can buy them from Amazon for $35, and then I just modify it to suit my needs. A lot of YouTube channels do it. And now that I think about it, I need to buy me a new Eric, and I don't know if I will, you know, have little Eric, the original little Eric, you know, just have him, you know, just on the shelf or something, or maybe turn him, you know, occasionally into Dirty Eric, where he eats things. You know, food is just murder for this puppet. If he eats anything, it gets everywhere, and the oils stain around his mouth. If you ever seen a close up of little Eric, you'll see the stains where we've given him cookies and stuff. But I think that footage is actually pretty funny when you know those sight gags. Like there was you get like hot glue and you put it between the mouth and you open it and it kind of looks like saliva, but then it gets stuck up all in there. But like earlier this year, I did the gag where he had snot down his nose, and that the slime it kind of solidified on his nose. You couldn't really get it off. You know, you might be able to make it out if you watch closely. Where did you get your gray shorts? Are they baby clothes? No, they actually had gray shorts for teddy bears, and then we bought it. I think I got it off Amazon. As I'm trying to figure out right now how I'm going to make a damn cowboy hat, you know, a foam cowboy hat for a puppet. Make the new one have a bunch of stupid tattoos. Like I'd like to, but the thing is, it doesn't. He doesn't have much, you know, area on his body for tattoos. Can the puppet be scotch guarded to avoid the staining? You know, I thought about that. I don't know. You know, it's like it's an expensive test. You know, I'd have to buy another puppet. But like I said, I'm going to get another puppet. You know, Eric 2.0. He's just going to look the same. It's just going to be, you know, cleaner. Does he ever talk about doing laundry? God, those shorts must stink. You know, something he's never really in a while. You know, I assume that he does laundry in Billy's house. You know, they're smart enough to get an actual, you know, mobile home to do the things that you need to do. Basic things like doing laundry. You should auction off the original Eric. I think that the little Eric, you know, is not as valuable as you know you think he is. You know, I could be wrong though. I thought that slime on his nose came from Blossom. Well, you know what? It was just made canon. That's where it came from. He used to have that stupid portable washer that could wash like 2 objects max. Or that he also had the dishwasher, dishy, the dishwasher that you could only put like 5 things in there and wash that and spend a lot of electricity washing 5 items. Does your dog like little Eric? Yeah, he's tried to take him and play with him, but we take him away because he'll kill it. He called it solar powered. All it is you just take clothes out and let it dry in the wind. Even though Eric doesn't like dogs. Dinah does the domestic duties like laundry, but Tater never takes off his dirty gray shorts to get washed. I know, she cleaned his, before she got deleted, she cleaned his RV. She was actually doing, productive stuff. I don't know. Maybe my dog Taddy he wants to kill little Eric. Just for Tig. But yeah, he's killed other things too. He's killed puppets versions of Caillou. I forget else what he's killed. Where did his puppy go? He had for a month and couldn't look for it. Yeah, he let it run out. He got tired of him running out, and then he decided that he wasn't going to go after him, and then he never came back. Did you see Eric trying to peddle Diana's bath water? Nasty. Justice for Tig. No, we should never let him live that down. Her cat almost died while Eric was watching it. AC hose fell off, cooked the van. That's messed up. I need to look at that video. And she still stays with him though. He was upset only 2 people bought his beard. Oh, nobody wants that crap. You don't know what's in it. I used to have a joke about tamales, that there's always a secret ingredient in it that it's why people keep buying them. Is Packy just a reference to where Tater likes to put gerbils? Oh, Packy is his pet that lasted for like maybe a night in his RV, and then the cats killed it. At least that's the story. Yeah, like she's stranded. She's stranded at the airport. Why didn't they let the cat stay in the house? I know they don't have a door for some reason. Cat piss beard oil, no thanks. Could you imagine the ring around the tub when Diana got out? It would need a wire brush to clean it. Yeah, they do have birds. I forgot about that. Well, I feel sorry for the cat. Why didn't she just leave the damn window open like she did the other cat? I mean, it had the at least it could go back to get into the her bus. But this is Eric we're talking about here. Well, taking the cat and have it looked at it, at some kind of a kennel or someplace. The pet sit, they can afford it. I mean, spending 11 days in a hot bus is probably not good for a cat. Well, yeah, I don't know about Diana being the nastiest woman on YouTube. I'm pretty sure there's some worse candidates. But when it comes to competition, there's way better way better YouTubers out there than Diana. Yeah, they definitely could have hired some pet sitters. Yeah, but you never can tell about There's like a lot of the things he done wasn't right when it comes to Tig and to Jax. There's nothing anyone can do about it. I know, and at one point I was trying to contact PETA, and then I found out that PETA they kill animals once they get a hold of them. So what's the point? That's a good thing about YouTube is that there's no such thing as smell-o-vision. You don't have to worry about smelling their clothes. How does Tater have any money? He is always blowing it on dumb things like the Geo Tracker and Frosty the high mileage pickup. Well, if you guys have gotten here, a little late maybe, but I've already showed the screenshot of how much he makes. He makes quite a bit per month. This is all just fictitious crap. It's all made up crap. None of this drama is real. I guess you have to call Blossom a rumbler now, but I've heard that the stuff she does goes against their community guidelines too. So I don't exactly know how long she's going to be on that platform either. And I don't like it that people use the pets as content. But that the like the cat ladies and the widowers, they eat it up, and that's the reason why he's got them. And the Packer could have been fixed. He just didn't want to. That's weird. He could also have some kind of a like like uh, like he knows how much money he makes, but he's not willing to buy the paid for two. You know, the like I don't know how, it doesn't make any sense to me how he can, eat, every day, eat, go eat out every day, and then buy certain things, but then won't spend the money to fix the the bus or the geopacker. Well, like it's only a matter of time before she gets kicked off Rumble. Then I've said that when a person's got that it's some kind of a bacteria that cats have in their feces, and when a person has that, when their brain has been affected by it's called toxoplasmosis. When they get infected by that bacteria, it rewires the brain to enjoy the smell of cat urine. So they really, they don't mind it. It's not, it's not a problem for them. That's why the cat box is right behind his seat, or right across from the kitchen, or the little area he's supposed to be food preparation. It doesn't matter for him. He doesn't mind it. The bacteria is running the show now. And I don't think seriously he intends to live in the bus with Diana. It's not going to happen, because it's already 82% complete. He said it himself. So why isn't she living there with him? Well, I think I'm going to call it a night, guys. I got to eat dinner, and then afterwards I'm going to work a little bit on a script, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. If you don't see the little message that says that the live stream is going to happen Tuesday, it's still going to happen. Sometimes I get lazy and don't make it till like 30 minutes before I do it. So, toodles. I'll see you Tuesday or in the next video.